Welcome in, guys. I'm Noah Castor. To my right, we have Darren Kinslow, and we are the Benchwarmers. Sorry Brandon Hudson couldn't be here today, but we'd just like to send a shout out. Thank you guys for the 100 subscribers, and we wanted to give something back to you guys, so we're going to talk about how you can get entered to win a $30 NFL Shop gift card. I'm going to send it over to Darren, talk about how you can get entered.
All you got to do is just hit the link in the description below. It'll take you to the website. All you have to do is fill in your email address, and then you'll be entered to win. We'll probably pick the winner probably in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks, and we'll announce that in 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, again, thank you guys so much. We really never thought we would get here, especially this quickly. So again, thank you guys. Couldn't be possible without you. With that, let's jump right in. Last night, NFL Draft. Of course, the first overall pick wasn't a surprise to us. Yep. Kyler Murray. What do you think about them not trading Josh Rosen, though? He's still on the team.
That may hurt the trade stock a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if a team would have been willing to give up their first-round pick. I doubt it.
No.
But you have to trade him. Having both of them on the same team
doesn't make sense.
And then plus it would cause issues because one person does bad one game. Mm-hmm. Oh, we want the backup now. So
it's the Carson Wentz, Nick Foles scenario.
Exactly. So I think you got to get rid of him. Get something out of him. I think maybe a second-round pick.
Yep.
I don't know who could trade for him because a lot of the teams that needed a quarterback already got one. So.
Yep.
I don't know. Should be interesting to see, though.
Yep, we weren't really surprised with that pick. Of course, with the second pick up Nick Bosa for the 49ers, really just simple pick. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got the Jets. They took Quinnen Williams. Again, another solid player, probably the best player in this draft, so not much to say about that. But next up was kind of a surprise. The Raiders taking Cleveland Ferrell. I thought it was going to be Josh Allen here, the next best player on my board. Cleveland Ferrell, he's a good player. He's going to be a first-rounder, but I was having him in like the 16 to like 20 range, so I'm not sure what they were doing there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not Khalil Mack.
No.
But I think he'll be a pretty good player. I don't know why you would pick that specific one. I guess that's what happens when you fire your scouting team a week away from the draft.
Yeah, I feel like they could have got him with their probably 27th overall pick or whatever they
possibly,
had later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then, of course, next up we got the Buccaneers. They took Devin White. They need linebacker help, best linebacker in the draft. And then we get to the Giants. Okay, they needed the quarterback. We knew that, but it should have been Dwayne Haskins, and they take Daniel Jones, which you could have gotten at 17. That's the issue. What do you have to say on this?
They could have gotten so much
more value.
Yes. You could have waited. He wasn't going to go in the first round, I don't think.
No, he wasn't.
The Redskins were not going to pick him,
no.
So I don't know why you go for Daniel Jones. He wasn't. I just don't get it. I really don't.
Especially with who was left on the board. You still got Josh Allen, T.J. Hawkinson, Ed Oliver. Even if it's not a quarterback, take Daniel Jones at 17 if you love him so much.
They still have holes. I mean, they could have filled holes at that spot.
Trade down.
I know. If they really wanted Daniel Jones, they could have traded down or they could have just waited. I don't agree with the pick. We'll see when he starts. It could be this year. It could be maybe next year, depending on how well Eli does, but yeah.
And then the next three teams I got on my board must have been just hooting and hollering. They got such good picks. Jaguars get Josh Allen, another great pass rusher. Lions end up getting T.J. Hawkinson, one of my favorite players in the draft. I know you too. He's going to be a stud for them. Hopefully they don't pull an Eric Ebron and just ruin his career.
Of course it had to be the Lions, too.
Yeah, of course. Then we got Ed Oliver going to the Bills. Just a monster. Could potentially become one of the best players in this draft. And then, of course, the Steelers trading up for Devin Bush. Mm-hmm. They went and got their guy, which is important. Bengals taking Jonah Williams. It looks like they're going to stick with Andy Dalton, just kind of give him a chance. They've been building up that offensive line. I think it's a good mix there. And then we get to number 12. Now, there's a lot of guys I would have taken before Rashawn Gary. I would have taken Montez Sweat, Juwan Taylor. There's a lot of guys I would have taken. But I think the Packers drafted on potential here, and I don't know how you feel about that, but I think for the number 12 pick, you don't draft on potential. You draft on a guy you know is going to be good, and we don't know if he's going to be good. He had limited production in college, so, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they could have gone safer, but the Packers have been risky these past couple years, so.
I still think he's going to be a good player, but like you said, I think they could have gotten somebody a little bit better.
Yeah, or trade down and accumulate more picks, because I think you probably could have gotten them a couple picks later. So, But it is what it is. He's a Packer now, so I'm rooting for him. Next up, we got the Dolphins. They took Christian Wilkins. Obviously, just an insane personality, too. I loved it when he got up on and chest bumped Roger Goodell. I love this kid. He's an insanely good player for Clemson, so the Dolphins have too many holes. They just need to start filling them. Next up, we got the Falcons taking Chris Lindstrom from Boston College, reuniting with Matt Ryan from Boston College. So, I mean, it's going to be a good pick for them, just protecting Matt Ryan. They don't really have that many holes, so beefing up the offensive line is not a bad idea. Next up, the Redskins get Dwayne Haskins, just falls into their lap.
Who the Giants should have had.
Yeah, but what do you think about the Redskins getting Dwayne Haskins? I think it's an amazing pick.
I think it's a great pick, and especially with the Giants passing on him, they kind of just got off easy and were able to scoop up him. Yeah. So I think it'll help the offense. I think that's exactly what they need, especially with Alex Smith.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel, but I think the Redskins had the best draft. I think they did.
They did. They had a great draft.
Yeah. Next up, Panthers get Brian Burns. I had Brian Burns basically mocked to them every time. They need a pass rusher, and he fits that mold. Next up, the Giants at 17. They get Dexter Lawrence, another player they kind of reached for. I didn't really see Dexter Lawrence going in the first round, and if he would, late. But it looks like the Giants are just getting their guys that they want. So, I mean,
we'll see how it works out. We saw that with the Cleveland Browns a few years ago, how that worked out.
So, we'll see. Vikings next up, they get Garrett Bradbury. Obviously, they need offensive line help. That fills a need there. He can slide into guard or center. Next up, you got Jeffrey Simmons. Now, this was kind of a surprise pick because he ended up tearing his ACL, but obviously another great defensive lineman that the Titans can use. And then next up, Broncos end up taking Noah Fant. I know you wanted him to fall.
The coffin for the tight ends.
Yeah.
You still have Irv Smith, though.
Yeah, still got Irv Smith, and he's still got some other tight ends on the board, so it's not going to be that bad of a situation. So, do you think the Broncos should have gotten a QB here with Drew Lock still on the board?
Well, it's John Elway, so I wasn't expecting it. But, yeah, I think they could have definitely gotten Drew Lock, especially sitting under Flacco. If he really is set on Joe Flacco, I think having Drew Lock for the seasons to come would have been a good idea. But it does beef up their offense in terms of weapons, so should help Flacco, but
especially Flacco loves looking at the tight end, so it's going to be a good pick for them. Next up, 21, Packers traded up with the Seahawks to get Darnell Savage Jr. He's just a ball hawk, and I love his tape. He was one of my favorite safeties, so I really don't have a problem giving up 2-4s for that. Next up, Andre Dillard going to the Eagles, another great offensive lineman. Then we got the Houston Texans. We're going to talk about this a little bit for my boy Brandon, picking up Titus Howard. I'm not going to lie, I had to look this guy up whenever they drafted him.
Didn't know who it was, yep.
No, so he's not ranked very high. I mean, he's a good offensive lineman, but he was probably going to slip into a late second round.
I think they probably could have gotten better.
Yeah, 100% they could have, because Jawan Taylor was still on the board. Okay, I need to talk about this for a minute. What the hell happened to Jawan Taylor? He was projected top 10. Did he kick a puppy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Anyways, I feel like the Texans definitely could have gotten somebody better there, but trying to beef up the offensive line was what they should have done, but they probably should have traded up to get one of the really top offensive linemen. But Tyus Howard, we'll see how that one works out. The Raiders, this is no surprise. I had Josh Jacobs mocked to them about every time. They just need more weapons on that offense. Next up, we got Marquise Brown go to the Ravens. Obviously, they need wide receivers. I can't name one wide receiver on the Ravens, so they needed him. Next up, Redskins just get Montez Sweat to fall into their lap. I know you were talking about that heart condition. Now it comes out that it's not really that big of an issue, so the Redskins get a great pass rusher. Next up, Raiders get Jonathan Abram, another great safety. Chargers get Jerry Tillery. I know he had some off-the-field issues, but another great pass rusher. Seahawks get L.J. Collier. I don't know who that is. I'm going to be honest. I go over the draft a lot. I never looked at this guy as a first-rounder, so, I mean, more power to the Seahawks getting their guy. So, and then the Giants, they trade back up, get DeAndre Baker. This is the one pick of the Giants I actually like. They needed some corner help, and they got, I think, one of the best corners in the draft, maybe first or second, so I think it's a great pickup. And then at 31, Caleb McGarry going to the Atlanta Falcons, another offensive lineman. They're really just beefing up the offensive line, which is never a bad thing. You can never have too many offensive linemen, so I think that's pretty good. And then by 11:30 at night, last pick of the draft, Patriots take N'Keal Harry. I know I'll slide this over to you since you're a Patriots
I like
fan.
this. I like this pick a lot. We definitely need weapons. N'Keal Harry, he's a really good receiver. He was in your top 5,
Number 1,
a couple weeks ago. So
Yep.
I like this pick a lot. I think it'll help Brady. I still think we can maybe get a tight end in the second or third, and then possibly get our backup quarterback. But
100%. With Drew Lock still on the board, you never know.
Never know.
And then Will Greer, I know they were looking at him too. So, all in all, this draft, there were some picks where I was like, okay, that makes sense, like the Josh Jacobs and the Kyler Murrays, and Nick Bosa's, Quentin Williams. But then there were some picks I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, the Giants.
The Giants had the worst draft, I swear. But no, it was a really entertaining draft. We'll see what they do in the second round. So I think it was pretty entertaining, even though it went till 11:30 at night, and I wanted to cry. So
Fell asleep.
fell
before the
asleep.
Patriots pick.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all we have. We'll be coming out with maybe some more draft recap, not on the rounds, just probably team based on our offseason reports. We'll talk about their draft picks. So this has been the Benchwarmers, guys.
Don't forget the giveaway down on the link.
Really get into that giveaway, $30 NFL Shop gift card. It's been the Benchwarmers, guys.
Deuces.